There I am. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, time I saw what you said. Is it Zen to be late? You know what? But I can do what I need to do to prepare myself. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. This is going to be a little bit different stream from my Fridays. This one is going to be a bit more relaxed and Zen and talking about well-being mostly and things. This is my first time that I'm going to do it in this way. Generally, I do this with people individually. So to talk as a group is a little bit different. But first, I want to prepare myself here. So I'm going to start by putting on my rakusu. So bear with me just one moment as I do so. And so also want to say hello to everybody before I start. So yes, Time, thank you so much for being here. Miss Alicia, thank you so much for joining. And the Vacancy Whore, good to see you. And Bone, hello, thank you so much for joining me. And Agent Pepsi, always good to see you here. Thank you so much. Jacqueline, thank you so much for being here. And Dr. Omega is here with me today. And Brandon, the anime guy. We have got lots of people here. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you. Bonzo, Kilborn, thank you so much, all of you, for joining me today. I'm gonna talk a little bit first before I get to the chat. So please don't think I'm gonna be ignoring you. If you're saying things in the chat, I will go back and make sure I'm addressing those. And if it's something that will elaborate on what I'm saying, then by all means, I will take a moment to do that. So it is going to be a little bit different than what I'm used to doing on my Fridays. So before I start, I do want to ring my bell in as I'm using my little one instead of my big one. And so I'm going to ring that in to get us started. So bear with me just a moment. Once again. All right. Now I can start. I have my incense going and everything. So I wanted to do this for a few reasons. One, because it is, when I talk about these things, it is helpful for my personal growth, my well-being, as well as for you. When I talk about things, it helps me to grow as well in what I'm doing. And this is a big step for me to be able to do it in this way as a Zen priest. So, thank you so much for being with me on this growth of mine as well. And as you noticed my intro, I don't know if you noticed that one. That intro I used when I very first started the channel. I learned how to use the system, and I went back and I loved it. I liked it, and then I kind of evolved from there. But I ended up going back to the beginning, back to where I started from, and it was kind of fitting because sometimes we need to take a step back and kind of slow ourselves down a little bit and remember ourselves. And also the intro had a little bit of a dramatic theme in there, old classic and feelings all over the place, and that's kind of what we're built with. What we're made of is a ton of feelings and a ton of emotions and everything, and that is good. It kind of lets us know we're human, and it's important to remember that. And Snorta, thank you so much for being here, and those who pop in while I'm talking. TJ, so good to see you here, and I appreciate that. And so, what I wanted to kind of review today, and the reason I kind of called it "There's Only You" is because right now there is so much happening with the world, with us individually. I counsel a few people, and some in our community that have come to me for some clergy counseling, and I'm finding that all of the themes in the discussions, which I would never discuss what, and who, but I'm finding that a lot of the themes tend to kind of revolve around changes that are happening in our life right now, and the nervousness of those changes, and so sometimes people are asking, am I doing the right thing? Am I handling this the right way? Am I, what am I feeling? They're kind of wanting to validate the feelings that they're having while they're going through these changes. Some of the changes may be small, some of them are quite big, and it's a lot for us to handle. But I wanted to remind us that that we pretty much have ourselves, and it's only you. A lot of the times when I'm talking to people, I'm not going to give them an answer. And I know that people want answers. They want to be able to be told what to do, how to do it, and stuff. And so sometimes it can get a little frustrated because I'm not going to give you the answer. What I'm going to do is basically like I've described this before. Like a Catholic priest is usually considered the go-between you and God. Okay, a Zen priest is like a dance instructor. We're going to help you and teach you how to do, maybe to function in life a little bit more, so that way you can realize that you are actually holding those answers yourself. But what happens is that you get so into your emotions, into those feelings, that you start saying to yourself, this is how I should feel, this is how I shouldn't feel. And I'm here to tell you that that you actually want to go into it without judging your feelings. So whatever situation that you're going through, whether it's your job, and you're having problems with your boss, or whether it's your relationship and or your neighbors, or whatever the case is, those feelings that you're having are very valid. You are entitled to have those feelings, but it's always how you handle it. And so sometimes we react first before you sit and think about it a little bit. So what I want you to remember is that it's okay to have these different kind of feelings come up. But now what you're wanting is those answers on, how am I going to get through this? What am I going to do? Well, the first thing that you have to come back to is yourself. Because of the way everything changes, because of the way when you start out in your life. You're born by yourself. You take your last breath by yourself. And all that time, in between your birth and between the time you go, so many changes occur. So many things happen, and people leave and people come, people go. You start out, you have your family, and then when you have kids, they grow up, they move out. So now you don't have kids. Your grandparents pass, your parents pass. The best friend you had in high school is not there anymore. They've moved on. Our changes happening all the time. And how do we adjust to that? So what we want to do is remember that you are that somebody. You are the one who knows yourself better than anybody else. So you want to learn to be comfortable with yourself. And hang on one second. I'm trying to make sure I'm catching up with the chat as well. I want to see if there's anything here. Let's see. All right. One of the things that I notice when people are talking to me and they're wanting a direction is I tend to see that we all have a fear of being rejected. So a lot of times when you're having a situation with your family, your friends, or whatever, and you're afraid to make that move, make that change, we're kind of like we're fearful of the change, and we're fearful of rejection to some degree. Doesn't matter how small it is. We all have a fear of failure. And that's the biggest thing, is that you're scared to move forward because you're afraid that you're gonna fail at what you're doing. But you know what? It's part of being human. Our insecurities, even if we don't like to admit that we have them, because sometimes we put up this, self-defense type thing. But you know what? When you look close enough and there's nobody around you and you are left with yourself, and there's your family isn't there, your spouse isn't there, but you're there, and whether or not you're in the room alone or just, in that sense, but also the fact that you kind of look around and you see everybody's already moving forward. We're kind of having to learn how to change and to modify our situation in what we're doing. And hang on, I'm sorry, I'm reading the chat here, so pardon my pausing. So basically, you're kind of saying to yourself, who am I? Am I predictable? Am I not predictable? So one thing that you want to do to start out with is to learn about yourself, to be comfortable with yourself, and the changes that are happening around you, and to sit with yourself. Now, one of the things that I do teach is meditation. And there is a great importance in this meditation, because in that time, you have to sit with yourself. You have to listen to your own thoughts. Although you're trained to kind of not think of anything, what happens is that you're observing your thoughts and realizing that they're there. You are then kind of slowing down enough to give you the opportunity to think about those situations, to think about how I'm going to handle this. And your answers are kind of just there. Have you ever worked on something really, really hard, and whether it's for work or whatever, and you're trying and you're trying and trying, just you know it, but you just can't get that answer. You can't, how in the heck am I doing this? And then you get frustrated and you build it up and you get angrier, and you just can't seem to get to that answer, to solve whatever it is you're doing. But a lot of the times I always tell people, you know what? Walk away for a little bit, even if it's the next day. Walk away and just kind of take your mind off of that and fill it with something else, calming, something relaxing, something that's not overstimulating your mind, and then come back to it and see what happens. And all of a sudden they come back and they're like, you know what? Oh my gosh, I figured it out. And that's because you gave yourself time to kind of settle a little bit. And as I've described this before, your mind, and I've used this because it's the best metaphor in it, is like a glass of water. And if you put mud in this water and you stir it up, the whole water is going to be all muddy. And this is your mind. This is your brain going crazy. Just all kinds of things. Oh my God, I can't do this. I can't pay this. I can't talk. I can't finish what I'm doing. There's too much to do. My plate is full. But when you take just a moment to settle yourself, to calm yourself down, and it sits there, then all of that mud is going to go to the bottom. And what's left on the top is clear water. And that is your mind. That is giving you the opportunity to help yourself realize your potentials. It'll help you if you're trying to learn something, to figure something out. But it'll give you the opportunity to pull those answers back up here so that you can handle those situations that you're going through, that you can deal with them. Now, sometimes it's not pretty. Sometimes what you have to do is not a pleasant thing. But you know what? You'll want to just get over that hump and then just do it. But in the end, sometimes you're like, why was I waiting so long to do that? Why did it take me so long? Because now I'm happier. Now I'm free of that situation. So what I wanted our first one to be is basically the understanding that this is about you. This is about me, about remembering that we are alive right now, this moment, that you are important, and that you are somebody. And that is the most important thing right now, because a lot of us tend to forget ourselves through the process. And all the things that you're doing is always for somebody else. Always for somebody else and making them happy, but you forget about your own happiness. And that is not the best place to be because you want to be able to enjoy being happy yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. And let me just kind of, and I apologize, I'm going to kind of go back a little bit in my chats to see what we have going on. And Elise is saying that you just need to trust your feelings and listen to them. And that's a very good point. The thing is that most people that I talk with, they already know what they're going to do. They already have the answer, but they're afraid to. And it's almost like they're asking me for validation on them. Like, I'm not going to tell you what to do because it's not me. but you know what you need to do. But I can help push you. I can help help you get to that point, but it's got to come from you. And Time Prophets saying the yeah, agreeing with something that somebody said above here. Oh, this is what he's on. The more I realize how much you don't know. You know what? Absolutely. That is completely true. We don't know everything, and that's okay. No one does. And oh yeah. And also I didn't mention one of the things that I wanted to make clear in here, although as I'm here as a Buddhist Zen priest, I'm not here to talk about like Buddhism. This is basically a view into what it's like to understand Zen teachings and how it's structured. And hang on a second. Yeah. And don't feel bad. It is something I go through all the time, and in fears. But you know what? This is an example of this. This is even starting my channel was one of my biggest fears, to be in front of a camera and talking to people. If I go back to my videos when I first started, I hate seeing those because I'm sitting here just scared. My eyes are this big and I was scared. And I have progressed from that, and I felt more comfortable. I was scared of what people were going to think of me and how they were going to see me. But I did it. And then in one stream, I came out and read aloud, which was a very scary thing for me because of my being dyslexic. But I did it. And I sat with myself for a while about that. And I thought, what is the worst that's going to happen if I mess up? Is everybody in the chat going to laugh at me? And maybe they're laughing with me. I don't know. But we're always afraid of what others are going to think. And therefore, our actions kind of tend to follow that. And so we become fearful of rejection, fearful of just what are they going to think of me? But you deserve that happiness, god dang it. So you know what? Just do what you have to do to be happy. Sorry. Let me go. Yeah, I wanted to make sure that you all knew that I wasn't about to be preaching and religion and God and everything like that, just so you know, okay? Yeah, so this here has nothing to do with your belief in who you're praying to, who you're believing in. This is about you and your own self, your own growth, and so definitely won't have to worry about that. Let me see. Hang on one second. I'm trying to. Hello, 1,000 Ghost Toys. Thank you for popping in. I'm not sure if you're still here, but good to see you. And hang on one second. Okay, Brandon, thanks for showing up. And I don't know if I was able to catch you before you left. So to use it to control anger, that's a good question, Time. If you try to suppress your anger, does it work? Does it help? No, I think you can try, but why? Because because you are not giving yourself that to be allowed to be angry. And remember, being human, we come with a lot of emotions: happiness, anger, fear, all of those. When you learn, when you're practicing and you're sitting and you're learning, you're not basically trying to push down your feelings. You're actually trying to bring them up. Sometimes when you meditate, people assume that you're going to walk away all, oh, and the world is peaceful and flowers and lambs and stuff. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes when I sit and meditate, I may start to cry. Sometimes I may be angry. Sometimes I might laugh because all of your emotions start coming up, and you're starting to make aware of your thoughts. And when you're aware of your thoughts, obviously feelings come with that. So you can't really control your anger. You can direct it in a different way, a different path. But there's really no way to hide your feelings. Your feelings are your feelings. And you're asking if I have a definition of my belief, then, like if I'm agnostic, an atheist, or whatever the case is. Basically, it's the Buddha was a teacher. Never said he was a god. Never said he was any divine entity. Basically, he taught Zen. He taught people how to, what we call, being awake. And that's why they always say he was enlightened. And basically what that means is that you become aware of yourself, of everything that's around you and stuff like that. One example I guess I could make in when you're becoming aware is kind of like when you sit for just a moment. Normally there's so much stuff going on around us and we don't even pay attention to it. And you have to think about it. If somebody said to you, "Can you hear that?" And you're like, "Hear what? What?" And you're like, "Wait, that, listen." And you have to stop yourself for a moment. You're digging to find what is it that you're hearing. So in your sitting, when you sit and you're meditating, you're sitting for a second, you are actually making yourself aware of the birds that are outside, your refrigerator making a noise. You become aware of what's happening at this moment. And then you pay attention to your breathing and you're kind of connecting with yourself. And so that's what it is. It's not like, oh, I'm going to preach to you here. It's some, do this and do that and religious stuff. It is basically learning about Zen and being aware. So let me see. 1 second. I'm going to go back. Yes. Meditation is definitely the key here. Maybe at some point I will put instructions on how, but it will help greatly. And I know a lot of people always say, "I can't meditate because I can't slow my mind down. I can't stop thinking." And I kind of chuckle a little bit because I'm thinking to myself, you probably don't want to stop thinking, because if you did, you'd be dead. Your mind is always going to be doing something, and it's okay. So you cannot make the excuse that I can't meditate because my mind is so busy. And that's the point. That's the point of meditation, is so that you can observe it and kind of just slow it down a little bit. But meditation also helps in relieving pain, like physical pain. I suffer from fibromyalgia, and I've had it for many years, at least 20 years. And I live every single day of my life in pain. But in the time that I learned meditation, I wasn't even thinking, I'm going to go into meditation so that I can stop the pain. I want to go into meditation so that I could be all zen and whatnot. I went into meditation because I needed to learn how to meditate and figure out what it was all about. But I noticed that when I sat regularly without even thinking about it, just one day I was like, you know what? I actually haven't had a flare-up in a long time. I have them, but not as often. But it helps to relieve pain and your migraines and your stress, because right now there's so much stress that is happening. It is unbelievable. Everything that's going on around us in the UK, in Australia, in the US, and I never hear Switzerland going through anything. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. So I kind of wanted to do this as well for everyone else to kind of just take a moment and to zen for a little bit, because we kind of need it right now. I need it. And I kind of wanted to talk as a group for those who wanted to come to me individually, but I wasn't able to for whatever reason, but we can still do that. It's just that I get a lot of requests and I can't always reach everybody. So I thought this might be the best way as well. And I'm learning from this too. I've never done this before. And time, don't believe anything you can't see, God, religion, ghosts, or aliens. and that's okay, because this is not about that. It's not about that at all. What you can see, time, is yourself. And if you look in the mirror, there you are. That's what this is about, is what you can see and what you can feel. And I just kind of wanted you also just to take a moment just to listen to yourselves and to give yourself permission to feel things, to process it, and to be okay with yourself because of the way your life changes, because you are going to be alone at some point when your family moves away and your relatives are gone. Even our heroes, even our mentors pass on, and we have their words, but they're not there. It's still just you. It's always been you and only you. And so, let me see. Trust and intuition after familiar abuse, especially with the result of, that's a big thing. Rebuilding trust. It is entirely possible to do that. When you're trying to trust, what are you doing? You're stopping your feelings because you're like, nope, this is my wall. I'm not going to go beyond this because I'm afraid of what's on the other side. I'm afraid to push forward. I'm afraid to do that. So again, it's fear. It's also trust, trusting others and all that. I mean, everybody in this room has had somebody just right in the back. whether it's a relationship or your coworkers or whatever the case is. And so it is still something that you want to work with. And please make sure you do. Those are hard things to deal with. Whether it's abuse, PTSD, any of those. And when you kind of learn about yourself, you're going to find out that you're a stronger person than you gave yourself credit for. It's okay to have weak moments, people. It's okay to have them. Sometimes I have those days too, where I feel completely vulnerable and I feel completely defeated and I feel completely useless and all of that. And then people tell you, well, you shouldn't feel that way. Well, guess what? I do. This is my feeling. This is how I feel. Do I stay in that position? No, I don't. Because when I sit there for a little bit and I think about it, I'm like, you know what? I'm not useless. God dang it. I'm somebody and I am valued to somebody. Whether it's, a relative or friend or whatever, not everybody's going to have those feelings and not everybody's going to treat you that way. So don't shut yourself off to the world, but please make sure that you do figure out how to go through those feelings that you're going through and the trauma that you've gone through. It's important that you don't bury anything, but that you bring it up so that you can free yourself of those fears, so you can free yourself of those feelings. And then you're able to think more clear. I mean, because what this does here, it affects every other aspect of your life. It'll keep you from getting that promotion. It'll get you sick and you're going to see your doctor more because those feelings start manifesting in your physical body as well. And your well-being includes your body. And that's why when you're sitting and meditating, you're listening to your body. Meditation is actually a very physical thing to do. You have to pay attention to it. While you're sitting there, oh my God, my back is killing me. So change your position. Oh my God, my butt is falling asleep. So change your position. You're paying attention to your body from the outside and the inside, making yourself aware. Think of other things for a couple of minutes and then come back to it. See? The teacher, she's a teacher, she knows and knows exactly why, because you're trying too hard and the answer is not able to surface in your mind because there's so many other things at that time when they're struggling with their tests. And I know because I'm one of those people that have a hard time taking a test because of my dyslexia. What I was allowed to do, my teacher allowed me to go into another room and be there by myself because I had to read it out loud. I couldn't sit there and read it quietly and try to answer it. I had to read it out loud. And being alone gave me that opportunity to be away from everybody without the pressure that they're looking at me. Oh God, she's only on answer 5. Well, why are you looking at my paper in the first place? But exactly that too. It gave me time to think about my answer and I wasn't rushed and I wasn't pressured. And I was able to do really well. Very, very well. I went from not doing so well in my tests to graduating college with honors. With honors, my people, where I couldn't even pass basic math at first. I ended up getting A's in trigonometry. And that was wow. Because I was able to slow down and I found the answers. So that's exactly the best thing to do. And I love teachers like that that allow you time to just walk away for a little bit and come back. It's because you will find the answer to that. I'm not sure which this one is directed to, and I apologize. I kind of lost track of the conversation here. So, yeah. And everybody's just hoping that you can rebuild that trust. It may take some time, but it is entirely possible. I can attest to that completely. Excuse me. Yes, I'm glad it's happening for you, because obviously that tells you that you've got what it takes. That you've got what it takes, and you found somebody to love. So obviously that shows that you allowed yourself to soften a little bit and get those feelings in there for love. And that is hard when you connect with somebody who's also been in that situation, because it makes communicating a little bit harder, but it's possible and it's done. And being married that long obviously shows that the two of you are definitely willing to work together to communicate, which is the biggest thing. Absolutely, Agent Pepsi. That is exactly it. Meditation, regardless of the length, brings clarity. Before I sat here in this chair to do this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is my first time doing this. Oh my God. I was a little bit nervous, because I'm used to working with people individually, not as a group. And I was a little nervous, but you know what? I took a moment. I sat here for a second. And so when Time says, is it Zen to be late? Yes, because I was Zenning. When I was Zenning, I had to sit for a little bit so that I can clear all of those fears and clear my mind a little bit and come back and take a breath and start with that. And hang on a sec. Wow, there's Geek Strong. Thank you so much for being here. America's Most Wanted. Thank you so much for being here. Some of you guys just popped in here. I didn't see. I apologize. Brandon Looney Tunes fan 2000. That's a long name, but I'm so glad you're here. And so good to have you guys here. Hey, how's it going? And Brandon has 639 subs now. Good for you. You're you're on a roll there. You are on a roll. You have a goal and you're getting there. Did you find yourself or your feelings sitting there? And you've learned about yourself. Yeah. Sometimes you come up for meditation, you've got more questions than answers, and that's okay too. That's going to happen. But you know what? You probably have another question that you didn't have before. And that therefore gives you another avenue, another path to look down. So that in itself could be your answer as well. Well, that's true. I'm not sure he's right, but yes, absolutely. That's true. Let me see. What? Can fish stop swimming? Well, when they die, yeah. Absolutely. See, even Geek Strong says absolutely. Let's see. You guys are funny. I did learn about myself. I also had to do without payments for chronic pains. I learned something in that too. Yeah. Goodness gracious. I am so sorry that you had to go through all of that. And I'm not just saying that because I've had to go through these things myself personally. And I know the struggles, and I know how hard it is. And that's why I also wanted to make sure it was important that you knew that this is helping me as well, because I still go through these struggles. I still have doubts, I still have insecurities, and I still have a lot to learn about myself, my strengths, and kind of move forward with that. I still deal with pain, but not on the level I did. What I did when you can't go with pain meds, because the way it is nowadays, it's really hard to get pain meds, is I started researching alternative ways to relieve my pain. I'm started to find other means of what I could do to relieve that pain, whether it was acupuncture, whether it was natural remedies, whether it was whatever. I combined them together to try and find a solution, because I didn't want to just depend on medication. There's a way to solve that, especially chronic pain. That is difficult. Why do you think I only keep my streams to an hour? After an hour, if they last a long time, I'm in excruciating pain. So whenever I'm a guest on somebody's show, I'm like, I can't do more than an hour without hurting. So everybody knows when I go on their show, I can just take that hour, because after that I have to go stretch and stuff. And it is hot in here. Woo. And let me see what else. So, you know what? I'm so glad that you are here and that you're sharing this with us, because a lot of people have a hard time even just coming out with that. With everybody's hiding their feelings and keeping it guarded, and we don't want to share that. But you know what? You're in a room full of people that got your back. I've got your back. They all have your back, and they're understanding what you're going through. And you're coming out with that as well, is also kind of helping others to say, you know what? I am also doing that. I'm also feeling that or going through that. And then we can help each other as well. So inner reflection, the world seems to fade to the background. That is true. I guess I hesitated a little bit, because when you meditate, you want to take in the world around you, but you also let things go at the same time. So that's kind of hard to explain. But Agent Pepsi, you seem to understand exactly how to do that, and that's a very good thing in sitting. So that is good, and it's always hard when. I don't know where I went. It just went away. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, I'm hoping I'm still live. Am I still live? Because I don't know where okay. Sorry. Yes, I am. Okay. Hang on a second. I want to catch this one. Being taught how to learn and how to look at everything, every side of an issue, has served me well in life. Yeah. I owe that to my high school teacher back in the 80s. Don't we have that one teacher? Don't we just have that one teacher that you're like, holy cheese and crackers? This teacher really helped me through this. And you know what? That's a big thing. Being taught how to learn. That's what I had to go through too. And I actually didn't learn that until I was in college, when my teacher or my instructor sent me aside and said, I think I know what your problem is. And then she gave me the test and said, did you know that you're dyslexic? And I'm like, what? I was awakened. And I realized that I wasn't, lacking in knowledge. It was that I just didn't know how to retain that knowledge or how to learn that knowledge. And being taught how to learn is the most important thing. How to learn, and that's kind of how what Zen priests kind of do, is help you learn how to learn. Critical thinking. How much critical thinking you have to meditate on the subject and answers and cause and effect. Absolutely. One of the things that my teacher taught me was, he said, you know what? Before you answer somebody's question, sit for a second, think about it, and it'll come to you. And it works because you are giving yourself time to, as A Thousand Go says, look at the issue from every angle and have time to process those thoughts and meditate on the subject to get your answer. That's exactly what I'm talking about here. Very, very good. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, Jim Pepsi. I don't know. I looked up and it said to reload. I'm like, oh God. So sorry about that. Yeah, we're all going to kind of run through these type of people in our life, but that doesn't define who we are and what makes us as such. To lose weight. Thank you for being in here. I like that drawing, by the way. That's kind of cool. I see you changed that. But you know what, though? That is personal growth. Losing weight. You're learning about your body, aren't you? You're learning what you need, what your body needs in order to succeed, in order to get to your goal. So you are already doing that. PDY. Hey, this is a raid. Hey guys, how's it going? Thank you so much for being here. As you can see, I'm wearing my Zen Priest robe. I thought it'd be fitting. Next time, I think I'm just gonna wear my rakusu, because you know what? It is hot in here. I'm like dying. You guys, ay. So I kind of, I had all these notes and I spent a week planning this, but I kind of had a feeling that the conversation was going to kind of go into another direction, and that's okay too, because I'm listening to you. Part of my job as a Zen priest, as a clergy, is to listen to you. So maybe what I wanted to do is not what you wanted to do. And I wanted to still get my point across and to kind of do a little introduction in this being my first time doing this, and to kind of get a feel for the flow and learn about you, learn about your needs, and listen to you and what you need. Just so you know, a lot of times though, if you ask a question, sometimes it's hard for me to answer it, not because, well, there for a couple of reasons. One is either I'd have to sit and research the answer for a little bit before I give it to you, or two, because the answer isn't always the same for everybody. It could be different for you and the person who's behind you and in the comments, or the person ahead of you in the comments. The answer is different for everybody. And so sometimes I'd have to say, hey, I can help you with that, but I may have to do that individually and privately on the side, because it's not something that needs to be discussed in an entire group. So so understand that if I don't give you a direct answer, it's a few things, but I will let you know if it's something that I need to if it's something that I'm going to need to research a little bit before I get to. But yes, it is hot. I'm dying over here. Woo. But this is awesome to be able to spend this time with you here. And yes, it is a little bit different from my Friday's Tea and Tally stream. I'm enjoying this, and I'm hoping to dig a little bit deeper as we go along, as I become more comfortable with the layout, the setup, and how I want to present things to you. Again, because I'm looking at all of these comments, and generally I'm so used to doing it on one-on-one that I have to stop and think about what I'm going to say to you. So I make sure that I'm not steering it in a different direction. Yeah, so hang on one second, just yes. But you know what, PDY, you guys are gonna just be like, you guys are just gonna be like big, okay? You guys have such a great show, and you know, you guys must sit for a while on what you're gonna talk about and how, because your show flows very well. It's very well planned, very thought out, and you guys work really well together. And I really like your show. So you guys are going to just blow people out of the water. You're going to do really well. So, fabric does make the difference. You know, the Zen Priest outfits tend to be different depending on the season. This particular cloth is, you can kind of see through. It's like a sheer kind of one, but it also has this underneath that, so that kind of makes it hotter because it's cotton. But that's okay. Life is suffering. No, I'm just kidding. This is very Zen. Good. And free therapy. What a bargain. What a deal. Yes, you do. Yes, you representing only yourself. Mm-hmm. Hang on a second. Well, good. You guys are awesome. And you know what? I started out slowly. I didn't have anything, and I didn't know any of you, but you know, it takes the faith in yourself and what you do, which you have, because when you're presenting your show, you do it like there's a bazillion people out there. You don't change your format and say, well, there's only like 5 people in here, so whatever. Hey guys, you still present yourself in the fashion like you're talking to a ton of people, and I love that. And people are going to go back to those videos and be like, see the consistency in your show, and that it's only going to just get crazier later. So absolutely, you are going to really grow. And hang on till to get a fan. I have one. It's just I didn't want to put it on because I didn't want the no. I didn't want the noise from it. Agent Pepsi, you are just too dang sweet, and I'm so glad that you guys are here. You know, you guys help me too. You guys give me the confidence to where when I'm like sitting there going, oh my God, I messed up. I didn't do this right. I didn't do that right. I didn't ask us. I didn't do that. And then you guys come and say, oh my God, that was fun. I was like, what? You didn't even notice my mistakes? We're kind of hard on ourselves, aren't we? I'm glad. PDY. I remember the first time seeing your channel, and I thought, oh my God, these guys are just gonna be huge. They're just really gonna just go crazy. And that's why PJ and I do so much to tell people, hey, look over here. Because once that happens, people will be like, oh my God. So you keep it going, man. You guys are awesome. G-Force, hey, how's it going? You guys just wanted to see what I look like in my robes, didn't you? I look the same, just with a robe. Oh, yes, it's okay to be wrong. Oh my gosh, make mistakes and be wrong. Oh. Oh God, you make me snort. Okay, thank you. We are our own worst critics. Mistakes are lessons. You guys are, yeah, absolutely. And this is true too. It's part of what makes us human, and that's kind of what I've been saying all night, is that we are human, and it's okay. Yeah, wow. That's a nice age little. You go on with your bad self. And I am actually, wow, I have come for, you're very welcome, PDY. Always tell people if it's good. We're so quick to say the bad things and point out mistakes and point out anger and point out hatred and point out all of that. But I would love to see people to point out the good things. I'm starting to see that in Twitter a little bit, in my Twitter thing. People are complimenting each other, people saying how great they look, how awesome that picture was and whatever. And I hope we continue to do that for each other, because although that we end up being, after the end of the day, you're there by yourself, it's only for that period of time, because there's always going to be somebody there for you to listen to. And I hope that we encourage ourselves to do that. But same year as I mean, did I say that out loud? Oh. Anyway, guys, right. Absolutely, Lucy. We need to lift people up, especially nowadays, isn't it? That's okay. We have our little secrets. We have when we spend a few more minutes in the bathroom is because we're putting on that magical cream. You guys don't have to. That makes me mad, man. You guys just, but whenever I get my wrinkles, I'm gonna be like, I earned these things, god dang it. So you wear them proud. But anyway, I think that we did it. We have done my first, I say our because you're with me, my very first live with everybody here stream as a Zen priest, and that was a big thing for me to do. So thank you so much. Sorry, I'm trying to read some more of these. Gray hair at 22. It can switch back, people always ask me if I want to color this my gray, but I think it's my trademark, so I'm just gonna leave that there. I've been getting my gray hair since I was in high school, and no coloring. I'm just gonna let it be and enjoy my gray. I'm sure my grandmother always said it's just wisdom. I'm like, okay. So I'll go with that, wisdom. But anyway, oh, thank you. I kept wondering if I should color it because I saw some pictures of when my hair was all black, and I'm like, but that's all right. I kind of earned my gray. I don't want to get too gray, like all over, and then I'll really. But I think I'll just stick with it. Oh my gosh, embrace the gray. Yes, I'm going to do that. Bone, thank you so much. Great stream. Glad you caught it. I'm glad too. I was trying, I'm going to be honest, I was trying not to get emotional through this. Because I care about people. I care about their feelings and what they're going through. That's what I do. That's what my job is to listen and to be there for you and to help you. And I wanted to express that in my live stream so that you knew that we are listening. I am listening, and I'm here. And if you guys enjoyed it, I want to try to do them on Tuesdays so that we can just kick back a little bit and kind of listen to what you're feeling and help you with that. And I kind of thought about the name, that bottom part where I had personal growth. I'm actually going to change that to something else because personal growth kind of sounds like I'm trying to tell you what to do, and that's not what I want to do. What I want to do is listen to you and help you through this and help you through things. And I want to thank those of you who have trusted me and come to me individually for me to listen to you. And I have loved the feedback from you, those of you who've said that were able to sleep that night, that they finally got sleep that night. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel good about what I'm doing. So thank you so much for those of you who came. It means a lot because I know then that you believe in yourself and what I'm doing. So thank you so much. And TJ, thank you. Well, you know what? I don't want to hold you up from listening to those. So oh, you guys are just too funny. And there's nothing that says when you're in here talking Zen that you got to be all whatever. I still have fun. I still joke. And so we can still do that. But I want to listen to you. So I might dig a little bit deeper next time. But thank you again all for for being here. It means a lot that you are here, and I feel better. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are great. Whew. Well, I am going to let you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'm going to carry on with mine as well. So, thank you for all of your comments and feedback and for being here. I'm going to let you carry on, but I'm going to end our session with the bell because that's how I started and that's how I will end it. So thank you again. Please be good to each other and to your pets and pay attention to what's around you and pay attention to each other and yourself especially. Okay? So you guys have yourself a good evening. Thank you so much for being here. And I am going to ring my bell out. Thank you all. Have a great night.